gonna make a lemon sour.
This is how you make lemon
We're gonna
sours.
try.
Like our favorite con man.
Like everyone's favorite con man.
So what you want to do
Celebration.
first, in celebration of Mob Psycho Season 2 ending. And
Morning.
ending on a great... And morning.
This is a morning.
This is in morning. So what you first want to do is put some fucking ice cubes.
Only if they're skull and crossbone shaped ice cubes.
Are you calling me out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus.
Fight on. Okay.
Fight on.
Try. Oh, thank
Crossbone.
you. So what's the next step, Jenny?
Next step, we're gonna move Morty. Get the fuck out of here, Morty. We're gonna smell the bourbon and grimace.
Oh god.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna like this.
It smells like it smells like college and shame.
Yeah, it smells like regret.
It does.
Okay. Oh boy.
Oh boy. You gotta whip it.
I'm not a hard alcohol person. Okay, we're gonna take like a very light shot. Nope, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna put it in the glass.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take like a very faint shot.
Okay.
And maybe like a little bit more, like another half shot.
No.
And then because it's extra sour,
Extra sour.
we're gonna do
Or
like
our
sort
least
of
taste
an
buds.
equal amount of lemon juice. This is gonna take a while.
Stop.
I didn't think this through. We can take this lid off, right?
No, I've been trying.
Oh, no.
I've been trying for like 20 minutes.
How'd you open it?
I stabbed it with like a knife.
Fuck. Okay.
Here, I got it.
Just keep going.
Do I fill it all the way to the top?
I think so.
Okay.
You're probably gonna want an equal amount of lemon.
It's like spraying out. It's like I'm doing a piss contest.
I know, it's like kind of disturbing. It's like frothy.
I don't think I opened this correctly. Oh, you know what? We should just stab the bottle.
Go get a knife. Wait, what do you do in the middle?
What?
What do you do like the top of the bottle?
Oh.
Oh my god. You a shotgun that? What are you gonna do with that? Okay,
There it goes.
oh my
Alright, so there's yours.
Okay, lemon.
Lemon.
Do another. Fill it up. Oh my god. Squirting so much.
I don't think you putting your hand there is gonna save the squirt, honestly.
Okay.
Any more?
Maybe like another half in each, because we're doing extra sour.
Extra sour.
Extra sour.
Unlike Reigen, it's actual alcohol. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess we would be just drinking lemon juice if we were being true to them.
There you go. That's the rest of it.
Wow, perfect. Then we're gonna get some simple syrup.
How much simple syrup, Jenny?
Do like the same sort of one of these, I think.
1 and 1?
I don't know. Let's do it.
Okay. Cool.
Sugar water. Why does mine look smaller?
It's the lighting. No, yours is definitely smaller.
That's fine.
It's okay.
It's fine. Stir it, and we're gonna stir it.
Woo! Okay. Yeah, yours is definitely smaller. That's okay.
Then we're gonna see how bad it is.
Wait, we gotta click.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, I smelled it.
Not that bad. That's actually pretty good.
It's very lemony.
Just a teensy bit.
Okay. I can still smell the bourbon. That's a lot of lemon.
Drink responsibly.
All right, we're gonna watch the episode. It's very, yeah.
That second shot wasn't a good idea.
No, I don't think it was. We're gonna watch the episode.
We're gonna
and
get
then
more
we'll
drunk.
Do the rest of our review.
See ya in like...
Go make yourself a lemon sour and join us.
Only if you're responsible.
Only if you're
in your
of
country.
legal drinking age.
In your country. In the Americas. We'll see you in 5 seconds. For us, it's gonna be like 2 hours. Bye.
We have, well, I spilled most of my lemon sour.
You kicked it onto my floor.
Rissa drank hers. I spilled about half of mine.
I was gonna drink the rest of it.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
I have more alcohol.
it's okay. We're fine.
You kicked it onto my ground.
I accidentally kicked it.
No, you
onto
did
the
it. You
ground.
did it on
I
purpose.
did it on purpose.
You always destroy something in my house.
You can't invite me over here.
I can't. I'm gonna destroy your house. I'm gonna
What?
set your house on fire and then plant your family's bodies.
Okay.
Anyway, last episode.
Anyway, episode 13.
Here we are.
It's
the end
Oh my god.
of Mob Psycho season 2 and all of it forever. No,
And my life.
And my life. Yeah, it really.
Oof. Wow.
End of
What a end of an era.
End of Mob Mondays.
End of Mob Mondays.
Mob days.
Wow.
It was. I
Well,
thought it was good.
I thought it was very good.
End of podcast.
End of podcast. Bless you.
Thank you.
The boss fight.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So like it's. I kind of figured it would do this, where like the first good chunk of it is just the boss fight, similar to like the last
About
episode of last
half
season.
of it, yeah.
Yeah. So the one thing that immediately stood out was they didn't name all of the 100% emotions.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. But then I was like, oh, like that kind of makes sense because Mob goes through so many very quickly in the extent of it.
And
like
putting those up on the screen, in addition to showing Suzuki's power usage percentages, would have just been like a lot, considering this whole fight only takes like 10 minutes.
Right.
You know?
Well, the thing is too, now that I think about it, this whole season kind of does away with showing up all the
They do cut out, they have cut out a decent number of,
because they didn't show friendship.
like, did they not say, they didn't like name it?
I don't think
they
they
showed
did.
the 100%
They showed
screen.
the 100% screen, but they didn't show friendship.
And then kind of same with Courage and Mogami, where it was named in the narration, but it wasn't like shown on screen like they did with 100% Rage in this season.
Yeah. And I think I think that's fair, because I think I've said this before, like in the first season when you're first watching Mob Psycho, you're like, ooh, a counter, what's going to happen when he hits 100? And you're like, oh, I bet that's going to be at the end of the season. Just kidding, it's like in the next...
It's
like,
episode 3.
Yeah, it's episode 3. And you're like, oh my god, it reset it. And like, there's more of an emphasis on like, oh, that was anger, what's the next emotion that we'll see?
Yeah, kind of
thing.
establishing that mechanic.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm fine with that change, and also in the manga, like it's easier to display. Obviously.
Right, I think it would have felt really cluttered. Like, I'm sure that they kind of like considered a lot of different ways to do that, and probably came to the decision that it just wasn't going to work in this medium. And I think that's
yeah, because even like when they did a 100% obsession, and it just like kind of went on the screen, like with Mob,
just with how many there are. I mean, there's like 7 different emotions in this scene. It would have been like, okay, here's another one every 30 seconds, you know.
What's your favorite emotion? Mine was courage.
Yeah, you really like courage. I really like resignation.
I know you do.
Yeah, I love the red bloodshot eyes that they gave him for that.
Because he was smoking weed.
Stop.
Anyway,
the mob is high.
Okay, Crunchyroll. Well, let's start from the top. So Mob reaches ecstasy, which was always kind of a weird name to me, but I understand it. But it's like
yeah, which I really like that one, because he doesn't really get to ever let loose in this way.
Yeah, he doesn't. He was very unhinged, and it's nice to not nice. It's interesting to see it, and it's fun. It's kind of fun to see it when it's not Dimple.
Right, his own emotions.
It's his own emotions, and that quickly goes into shame. And I was super excited to see how they would do that. Yeah, because I love in the manga really it's overlaid over Mob's face with the flashback. And obviously they couldn't do that, but
they just kind of flashed between it. But
but Mob's look and Ritsu's look are really well done.
They did Mob's eye, kind of like when he sees Ritsu. It's like, oh boy.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Compassion and sadness are kind of the next two that go hand in hand here. When he sort of understands that Suzuki is lonely and an empty life, and he's like, how did you end up like this?
Yeah.
Like, you're so sad.
And Suzuki's like, I did it like this, or something. He's like, I am so lucky. And Bob's like, oh, you're just an asshole.
Yeah, like, actually, your life sucks.
Yeah, he's like, your life's... He's like, have you tried having friends?
Yeah. Have you tried, like, he's like, I don't know how to explain to you that you should care about other people.
Bob's like,
that one, like, Onion article or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, have you tried talking to your son?
Yeah, like, maybe that would help.
It's very, you gotta kind of wonder, like, how how Tochiro even got with his wife, if this is how he's always been.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, maybe, I think it was kind of implied that maybe he wasn't always as, but even, I mean, for the past 20 years, he's been building up his power. Right. So, although show's 13, so it's like, that was during that time.
Yeah, so he was definitely with her.
Yeah.
At least.
Probably. Wait, how old is he? He's 46? Yeah, I don't know.
46 in the anime, 48 in the manga, I think.
Yeah, for some reason.
For some fucking reason.
Anyway, I don't know. Maybe he just got worse as time went on or something, but...
He's He's an incel.
Yeah, you're right.
Incel Toshiro chat, right?
Stop. I hate that.
I do too.
Okay. Sadness when he tries to kill Suzuki. It's kind of intense, you know? He crushes all those buildings around him, and he's like, I don't want to hurt you, but I have to do this.
This was so really... Yeah. Well, this whole fight is really well animated, but this part especially, like just the atmosphere and the colors of, like, when they kind of break through, like, the bloodshot clouds and go into, like, a clearer sky, and it's still very murky coloring, and it, like... And, like, when we were watching this, you kind of mentioned how, like, you know, it's mostly sadness, but there's a lot of more complex feelings going on. Like, Mob feels sadness because he knows this is what he has to do, but he doesn't want to do this.
Yeah, like, I feel like the emotions are kind of, like, somewhat simple, but then there's, like, the reasons behind them are more complex and really where it brings out, like, which brings me to my favorite one, which is resignation, where at first you think that he's giving up on the fight.
Yeah.
But then you realize that he's giving up on trying to save Suzuki and trying to change him. Yeah. Which means that he's gonna kill him, basically. Right. Like, he's gonna really do what Suzuki kind of wants him to do and, like, fight back in that way. And he's like, we're both losers here.
Right.
Like, I wasn't able to change you, and I give up.
And you couldn't influence me in the
way you have influenced me, sort of, in a way.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And then, like, in that scene, I was not expecting them to go as far as they did with Tochiro's, like, body horror. Like, Jesus Christ. Not... Yeah, he was... You have in your notes, ... crawling.
Yeah, this is kind of a little bit later, but when he came crawling out with his, like... fire demon face, like,
what the fuck? I
think it was after Courage.
It's like right before Courage.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like during Resignation.
Yeah, because Suzuki's, like, body kind of just falls apart as he goes into the higher percentages because he just can't contain that much power.
Right, and well, the thing is, we even seen this with Mob when he goes into 100% obsession, his hand starts doing the same twerking,
sure,
twitching that Tochiro's does. So it's like established, but it's just like I was not expecting them to go as far as they did with it. Yeah, and then Resignation goes into Courage, and Mob like hears. Does he hear Reigen, or does he just think of Reigen?
I think he hears Reigen yell his name or something. I don't know. He has supersonic hearing, so it's fine.
He's just hyper aware of when Reigen calls his name.
Yeah, constantly. He, like, wakes up in the middle of the night, be like, did I just hear Reigen say my name?
What did he? He wakes up.
Oh, it was a dream.
Wakes up in a cold sweat.
Yeah, he's literally done.
Yeah. It's like 20 years into the future.
He calls him and be like, did you just, like, call my name? He's like, no, I'm asleep.
Yeah,
Mom, like, okay, sorry.
Yeah, he's like, oh, master. And his partner's like, Mom, go to bed. It's just a dream. You haven't been Reigen's same place for, like, years.
Died 10 years ago.
Oh, Mom, Reigen hasn't been alive for 40 years.
I'm sorry, I get super unhinged whenever we talk about Reigen dying.
Yeah, remember when I told you, like, Mom's gonna have to bury Reigen someday and you almost drove us off the road?
That was, like, 2 days after I read the manga. And that was just way too much to drop on me.
You were, like, in a very fragile state of mind.
I hadn't slept. I was very emotionally
You were driving, like, 60 miles an hour on the highway.
You can't just say that, like, Mom's gonna have to go to Reigen's funeral and expect me to be okay with that.
Mom pisses on Reigen's funeral.
God damn it. Okay, Anyway.
Mob was 100% anger in the previous episode because he was pissed that Reigen was still alive. Just kidding.
I can't take it.
Okay. Anyway.
I'm gonna throw up.
Okay. You didn't even drink the whole lemon salad.
Well, I'm gonna throw up anyway.
Well, I'm gonna.
Oh my god.
So anyway, Mob hears Reigen and is like, no, there's people I need to protect. And which, God, I have a lot of feelings about Mob just wanting to protect his friends.
Yeah.
It just, it hurts. And he's just like, the body movement, fight. I'm like, I love him so much.
Yeah, good boy.
He's a good boy. And yeah, that goes again with the red eyes.
Mm-hmm. That gave him the same look as 100% Courage and Mogami arc.
Yeah, because it's the same kind of thing.
But sparkly eyes.
Yeah.
Sparkly anime eyes.
You know, going with that, Bones animates every emotion very distinct from each other. Even like even 100% anger in season 1.
Yeah, has the same kind of look.
Yeah. But they're very distinct from animosity from season 1.
Yeah.
Or even murderous intent when it started going into that in season 1 as well.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's neat.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, and that kind of goes into like Bones animates. It's the same character, but they animate every single character very distinctly from each other. No two characters hold themselves as very same, and that kind of goes with Mob's emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love how much range he can have, even though he's sort of plain looking a lot of the time. But when you see his face and his eyebrows especially, he can take on like so many different emotions.
Good character design.
Good character design.
Where his hair covers his eyebrows.
It's really good. Even when he does have his hair down, you can kind of tell, I feel like, in like at the very in the epilogue of the manga, when he's sort of more, I guess, in touch with his emotions. He has the same hair, but like I feel like from the angles that he's drawn in a lot of scenes, you can sort of see more of his eyebrows and see more of his emotions.
They distinctly like show his eye,
like they kind of show like the last panel when he's laughing. Like they're kind of shown from an angle where you can like see more of his full expression.
I wake up in a cold sweat sometimes and I'm like, oh fuck, I need to look at the last panel of Mob Psycho 100.
I need to see him laugh.
I need to see Mob laugh.
Happy boy.
Reigen also wakes up in a cold sweat and is like, oh fuck, I need to see Mob laugh.
I need to see Mob happy. Yeah.
God. But speaking of range, Mob's voice actor was really good in this episode. I mean, he's always good, but this was like just showed how much range he can have. The range.
He has the range.
Look at that range. He's got range.
He's got range.
That boy's got range. Mob's BA has range. In the similar tone as America's Got Talent, but it didn't come off as that way. But
I wasn't sure what you were getting at. But
that was the joke I was implying.
I was just gonna laugh at it.
Cue laugh track here. Thanks. Anyway, Serizawa's crying.
We're just reading our bullet points.
So when Tochiro, I love when Mob comes out and he's like, oh my god, everyone fucking run! It's gonna
get out of here!
The bombs, get out of here! The bomb's going up!
His arm's bleeding and Reigen is like, Mob, you're bleeding!
And Bob's like, you should see the other guy.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you think this is bad?
You think this is bad?
And I love Reigen being concerned.
Reigen's like super hyper-fixated on his bleeding arm.
Are you okay?
Yeah. So, and then when they're running, I was kind of, one choice I was kind of upset about, and was with, Serizawa's crying over Tochiro, but it's kind of played as like a gag.
Yeah, like kind of like, hey, you idiot, keep running.
Right, exactly. Which is like, but also I liked Serizawa's voice actor at this part because he really showed in his delivery, like, how conflicted Serizawa feels.
Yeah, he's going through, like, this is the worst day of Serizawa's life.
He has a very no good, horrible, very bad day.
Like, it's really such an intense character. I mean, a lot of these characters, honestly, are introduced on, like, the worst days of their lives. Like, Teru, like, Serizawa.
Wait, Teru was introduced?
I feel like Teru, like, the first day he's in Mob Psycho. Like, I feel like a lot of characters, when we first see them, they're just having a terrible time.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking of like every single introduction where it's like, cause you had a bad day.
You had a bad day.
It's just like clips of Teru's bad day, Serizawa's bad.
But like especially with Serizawa, like because he grows so much throughout the rest of this story, but like this is like literally just the worst day of his entire life.
Because like in one day he was told by a middle schooler, you have no friends, your friends are full of shit, and he's
his
like,
world just crumbles.
Yeah, and then at the same time the middle schooler was like, I'm gonna be your friend. He's like, oh, and then he risks his life, saves some other dude.
He's going through a lot.
His boss is like, you're a piece of shit, and he's like, oh fuck.
Oh fuck.
Now his boss is probably dead.
Yeah, it's just a lot. Like someone he's relied on for a long time.
Yeah, and even putting boss very lightly is putting it very lightly.
Yeah, like he definitely has latched on to him in a really real way.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be as big of a deal if he didn't have that kind of like emotional dependence on Suzuki. But anyway, 100% kindness was beautiful and gorgeous. Yeah. And it changed my life.
Same. I thought this part was really well done. A lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know what else. Like, it's great.
It was
perfect.
I thought it's
perfect.
Just like how Mob looks, and like you're the protagonist. I'm the protagonist. And the way
his hair is kind of flowing around.
Yeah.
It's like so good.
Yeah, and I think it really just ties in a lot of the themes of, you know, not only this season but the whole show as a whole, like really well. Like just the idea that like your life is your own, and you decide it doesn't
and
matter.
And this is sort of his sort of I mean the way that he reacted to like what Mogami told him, where he kind of tried being tougher. And then he decided, no, like, this is my life. I'm going to decide to be kind.
Right, exactly. And
even if it doesn't make sense, even if it's not the right, like, the best thing to do. And this, you know, because Mogami's like, you can't solve everything with kindness. And I think Mob's like, yeah, that's true. You can't solve everything with kindness, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be kind whenever you can.
Yeah,
it's not always about solving something.
Right,
you know?
and that even Mob kind of says that in the previous episode, like, losing and winning isn't how you should. Isn't how you should measure life. Like, just be kind when you can be.
Like, he doesn't go back to Suzuki thinking that his kindness is gonna, like, save the day.
Right.
You know? Right. I mean, it does. I mean, it doesn't. It kind of does, but kind of doesn't. Like, he's not going back being like, I'm gonna be kind because that's gonna save the world or save me or save my friends. He's just like, this is the right thing. This is what I want to do.
Yeah,
like, this is how I want to live my life.
Right. This is how I want to
be a kind person.
Right, exactly. And you're so right, because Mob is like finally choosing who he wants to be and what he wants. Oh, you're right. And what I love too is like it's very clear, and like when you look back, like this is all of Reigen's teachings.
Yeah.
From being a good person, being kind, to you're the protagonist of your own life. And, like, Mob takes all of this to heart, and he grows with all these lessons, and to see him apply these lessons that Reigen has given him to these situations, Reigen would never think he would.
Yeah, can you imagine if Reigen, like, knew that Mob was out here, like, repeating his little nuggets of wisdom?
Crying.
Reigen would have just, like, burst into tears. He'd be like, are you serious?
Well, because even, like, especially the first speech he gives Mob, he pulls out of his ass, and that's canon that he pulls it out of his ass. Yeah,
and, like, a lot of things, like, I think he says things, and he kind of means them. He believes it, and I really like what he says at the end in chapter 100 when he says, like, everyone is the same as you. Like, that's really what I believe even now. Like, he believes it.
Yeah.
He really does believe it, but it's not...
Right.
I don't know, he didn't necessarily...
He didn't think it would go
I think maybe he, like, came to believe it more in a sense than he necessarily, like... meant it when he initially said it.
I definitely agree. I really feel like everything with Reigen and Mob goes back to that very first interaction where Reigen pulls this advice that's kind of generic out of his ass, but it really hits Mob in a very special part. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the series, you know, throughout the series, Mob teaches Reigen his own lesson, and Reigen learns it from Mob.
Right, because that's Reigen's whole thing, is he always gives advice that he doesn't take himself.
Exactly. So he kind of learns it from Mob, and he like not only that, but he sees. It's a lot of like he's like, well, you talked about this at length where it's
I've talked about it,
right, where like Mob's. You know, Mob and his true self, and Reigen and his true self.
Right, and how, like, Reigen, like, accepting his true self at the end is kind of, like, the model then for Mob to do the same thing, where he's like, oh, if Master can accept his true self, then I can do that too.
And it kills
if he can be okay with himself.
Like, Mob's, like, admiration and how much he takes all of Reigen's wisdoms to heart is very subtle, but it's there. Like, when you look for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, I am too.
Oh my God.
Crying about Reigen and Mob's great dynamic.
When aren't we?
Right, they just have such a well-written dynamic. It's like the point of the series. Yeah,
it's the heart of it.
It is the heart. Yeah. The thing is, it's the secret heart. It's like not super in your face, but it's there when you look at it. It comes
I think it's
to the forefront.
I think it's a thing that probably most fans really kind of.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Latch onto because I mean everyone loves Reigen. Everyone has very strong opinions and feelings about Reigen, no matter who you are.
Right.
Like, you're not going to find a fan of Mob Psycho that's like, I don't care about Reigen.
Yeah, they don't really have an opinion on Reigen.
Yeah. And especially just the way that they interact with each other is so, yeah.
Well, yeah, because I think a lot of people really not latch on, but they really like that protege and teacher dynamic.
Yeah, and especially when
it's become more prominent in media.
Yeah. Especially when it's kind of got some elements that are like maybe more unexpected.
And like heartfelt elements where it's like they care about each other.
Yeah,
and they really bring the best out of each other.
Yeah. Even if they never say it.
Yeah,
especially if they never say it.
Yeah. So anyway, Tochiro's like, oh, I remember my wife.
Yeah, it's a little flashback of Suzuki and Sho and his wife.
Yeah, and they kind of showed her face in the manga, but they didn't show it very distinctly, and they show her completely in this one. Mm-hmm. And Baby Sho watching ants or something. Someone made an edit where it was like Sho, like the little image of kid Sho, like looking down, but it's baby Reigen who just got hurt by Mob. He's just looking at him, and it's so fucking funny.
Oh my God.
I know. Anyway,
then the explosion. One small thing that I always like when they do in any kind of TV show is when they have like the sound of something kind of like follow after the light or the blast. Like they'll do this with like a gunshot sometime where they'll have the sound, follow like the visual, because sound travels more slowly than light. Mm-hmm. So I just really liked how they did this blast where it was like silent and you saw like Reigen and Ritsu, I believe, like kind of caught up in the blast, and then like a half second later was the sound of it. I just thought I was like, ooh, good.
Yeah, that was
good physics.
You could see good physics. It's also good cinematography.
Yeah.
Reagan like flails in the air.
Yeah, God,
fucking disaster, man.
And then just the fear in the
mob.
God.
God. So then it cuts into the cutaway, which is really cute.
Yeah, little cutaway, and I just love this scene of Mob like waking up and how it's the four people that are sort of most prominent in his life, and they say his name and they all have different names. They call him, Nissan, Kageyama-kun, Shigeo, and Mob. I love it so much. Right. How they all say it just kind of shows how they all have their own kind of special relationship with him.
I've always thought it was really interesting how like all the characters like say
he has so many different names
that he's something different
called by. Yeah,
exactly. Mm-hmm. I'm just realizing, like, I mean, a lot of the kids at Mob's school call him Mob, but they usually add Kun afterwards.
Yeah, Mob-kun.
Reigen's the only one who says Mob without like a honorific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, does Reigen even like use honorifics like ever? He really doesn't use a lot of honorifics.
Yeah, well, no.
Because he just calls Ritsu. He just calls Serizawa.
I was gonna say, has he ever said? I thought he would say Hanazawa-kun, but I don't know if he's ever said Hanazawa.
Yeah, I don't know actually. But he definitely doesn't use like a lot of honorifics, which I feel like is kind of fits his character.
It fits his character. Yeah, I agree.
And it's definitely like purposeful, because I think like people that speak Japanese have said that the way that he speaks is like not necessarily like disrespectful, but like very direct and not necessarily like
blunt,
respectful. like the way that a lot of people would like be like very purposefully respectful when they speak.
Right.
He won't go that extra step and like use the most respectful way of speaking. He'll sort of just be like very direct and blunt. while not necessarily being like rude.
Right.
Which I love that.
Yeah, I was just because I was trying to think. I was like, well, what does he call Serizawa? And he just says Serizawa.
He just calls him Serizawa. Yeah, he never says like Serizawa. He says like Serizawa-kun like once.
Does he?
Yeah. Oh, because then Mob's like,
but
isn't he
Mob
younger?
calls him out. Yeah.
Aren't you younger than him?
Yeah. And Reigen's like, shut up, Mob. Anyway, and then obviously that's gonna get changed in the dub because Ritsu calls him Shige instead of. Does he ever?
He calls him like brother sometimes in the dub.
Oh yeah, for sure. But does he? I was wondering in a Japanese dub or even in like.
Oh, if he ever calls him
Shige, or if that was if the nickname Shige is something they completely made up for the English. The
mom in the Japanese definitely calls him Shige.
Does she?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was wondering if that was something they just made up in the. Because I know like.
Yeah.
Well, I mean like stuff like Fullmetal Alchemist, like Alphonse still calls his older brother Edward, because you haven't seen it, that's why I'm explaining it to you. He calls him Nissan, and like, and
I kind of wish that they did that in the dub.
Well, the thing is, in Fullmetal Alchemist, they keep it like Alphonse calls Edward brother like a majority of the time, and it makes sense for Alphonse's character.
Oh, like they say brother, not Nissan.
Yeah, like in the English dub.
Oh, okay.
Because Nissan is brother. Well,
wait, do they say Nissan or do they say brother?
In the English dub?
Yeah.
They say brother.
Okay, that's what I was
English.
asking. Well, yeah, but I was...
No.
Because I just feel like it has such a different connotation.
It does. It feels very
it's like
more...
no one in English says, like, brother.
Right, exactly. That's the thing is they don't... Like, in English, siblings never...
Yeah, no one's like, brother.
Right, they don't... Well, like, what I was going to say was in, like, Fullmetal Alchemist, it very much makes sense for Alphonse's character to
he's,
just
like, very formal or something?
He's pretty formal, and it just, like... And it's also, I think it's a lot of it is like, it's funny because he's a giant suit of armor and it's this very tiny boy voice coming out. It's like, brother, what are you doing, brother? Brother, stop trying to dismantle the government. That's Fullmetal Alchemist. And
I'll watch it sometime.
You should. And then with Ritsu, I don't mind changing it to Shige because Ritsu feels less, he doesn't feel as formal. You know, like I feel like he wouldn't.
Yeah. And I just feel like saying brother. I kind of wish like the way that the scanlation just keeps Nissan.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, we know that it's originally in Japanese. Like we can figure it out. You don't need.
It's very rare for English dubs to keep any kind of Japanese like that though.
Which kind of
like
I get that it would be awkward if they were using like honorifics and stuff. But it's
the honorifics does add like another level to character interactions.
Oh yeah, definitely
for sure.
If you can kind of understand that or start to grasp it, and
right. But yeah, so I don't mind the Shige change.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like it fits Ritsu as an English speaker character. Because, like, you know,
And saying brother is so awkward.
Yeah. In English it is. But yeah. So anyway,
that was a tangent.
On that tangent, Reigen making a joke.
Oh, yeah. So when Reigen's like, oh, I thought you were a goner back then. In sort of this joking tone. Mm-hmm. And that just... Oh god, it just kills me because like he really did think that there was like a possibility that Mob was dead, and he like lived with that possibility for at least like a few hours until they found him, and it's like holy shit.
Enough to where he was like, oh fuck, I gotta go find somebody else to work for me.
Yeah, that's like and then he's like, hey Serizawa, you want a job?
I really feel like that him offering Serizawa a job is like kind of him trying to get his mind off of it.
Yeah, and I think it was not even, I feel like it was probably sort of off the cuff, like he didn't probably expect Serizawa to accept it. He was probably just like, hey, you want to swing by the office sometime?
Right.
Yeah, whatever.
And Serizawa's like, like a job? And he's like, sure, we can call it that.
Yeah, whatever.
No, I agree. But yeah, because like I was kind of interested in like what that part meant, but like rewatching it, and I was like, oh yeah, he's like trying to cope with it, and he was like trying to lighten up the mood.
Yeah, trying to lighten up the mood and kind of make Mob like laugh and stuff.
Right, because Reigen still holds the ideals that like these are kids, they shouldn't be dealing with this, so he tries to lighten up the mood with all these kids. So. Then they're like, oh, where are we gonna sleep? And Reigen's like, I mean...
Come sleep in my shitty studio
apartment. Yeah,
and my single bed and, like, very tiny, like, couch
and Ritsu's like, fuck No.
Which, knowing what his apartment looks like, that's even funnier. Like, where are you gonna put these children, Reigen?
Reigen they're like, well, like, one's on the bed,
he would sleep on the floor. Mom and Ritsu could, like, sleep in his little bed.
Yeah.
Teru could sleep on the couch, and Reigen would just sleep on the floor.
You just, like, plan this.
Yeah. That's where they would sleep.
Ritsu sleeps in the hall, or Reigen sleeps in the hallway, not Ritsu.
Ritsu's like, fuck this, I'm sleeping in the hallway. The, like, outdoor hallway of his
Reigen's
apartment.
landowner is like,
what are you, like a 13-year-old squatter?
Yeah. Is he paying rent? Are you renting this out to him? You can't do that.
I love Ritsu, like, kid, you're, like, Ritsu, let me talk directly to Ritsu for a second.
Yeah.
Your house.
I'm Ritsu.
Your house is burned down.
Yeah, what about it?
You're really gonna be a dick to this man, sweet man.
Here, I'll put on my best Ritsu
this
impression.
Sweet man who's giving you a place to live.
Here,
your brother trusts him. Why do you not like Reigen? What's your deal?
Rat bastard. That's my best Ritsu impression. It's just Sonic's voice. Sorry, dude, tough break.
Like, Ritsu, come on, boy.
Ritsu kills Reigen. Sorry, dude.
It's very funny that he hates Reigen, but, like, come on. And then as soon as things get tough and the Body Improvement Club is gonna drag them off for, like, a terrible weekend of survival skills, he's like, no, Reigen, save us. And Reigen's just, help us. Yeah, Reigen-san, help us. And he's just like, bye, Ritsu.
Right.
Have fun.
Reigen's such a petty bitch.
Yeah, Reigen doesn't know. He's like, bye.
There's a lot. It's very. I don't think Ritsu hates Reigen.
Oh yeah.
But he definitely is annoyed and distastes him because, of course, he is like, you're just using my brother.
He's
Reigen's
very like I'm just using it.
Reigen's that SpongeBob. Yeah, you look at me. I'm Ritsu. Ritsu's like, is this how you talk to 13-year-olds?
It is.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, what about it?
Reigen never learned how to, like, talk to kids, so he just treats them like the same he'd treat anyone.
I think Ritsu's and Reigen's dynamic is very interesting.
I love their dynamic.
I know. I wish there was, like, more serious scenes with them.
Yeah.
But I know there's not.
Because they have a really interesting kind of, because they both obviously care about Mob so much that I feel like they could overlook their differences to, like, focus on that.
Yeah. But
anyway, they kind of cleaned up some of the logistics in this episode too, which I thought was really interesting. Like, some of the things that just were kind of dropped or not really followed through in the manga. So they stated that it would take 3 days to rebuild Mob's house, which I feel like they never really said that in the movie.
They did.
Did they say that? Okay.
Yeah, it shows like
it was like 3 days or whatever.
Shows like, sir, for burning down your house, it's gonna take 3 days for this guy to do it. And the guy's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And they didn't get to them like moving into their house yet. It'll probably just kind of be at the beginning, or they might just kind of move past that and just have them being in their house,
which is a shame because
again.
Unhinged Ritsu opening the door and scaring his brother.
Place. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Teru's apartment is wrecked, which is like totally because in the manga he's like, oh, I'll go back to my place, but his apartment just got destroyed.
Yeah.
So in the anime they showed him going back and then being like, oh, I should have stayed with
Which
Reigen.
Is both very funny but also so heartbreaking.
I know, Teru.
Let Teru have a family.
Reigen adopt Teru challenge.
Yes. Teru goes back to Reigen's apartment and Reigen's like, where are your parents? And he's like, about that.
No.
And Reigen's like, that's interesting, while he's signing the adoption papers. Yeah. It's like, interesting. Okay. This is where I sign, right?
Call my lawyer.
He's gonna call my
and
lawyer.
then they have a new office, which is like to me, like a decent change from the manga. Is that they moved to, like, it's the same office basically, it looks the same.
They like moved
but they moved to a different office, and it's in like a
right across
slightly different location. There's like a coffee shop sign next to their spirits and such sign. Yeah. It's cute. I liked it actually.
It's cute. Yeah.
And because I feel in the mangas I was just kind of like breezed over. It's like, oh, we're back in the office.
Right. Well, because I think in the manga it was burnt, and I think in the manga it was implied that shows.
I think that was definitely the implication, was that they rebuilt it or something. But I'm fine with this change too. But it is kind of funny, the implication in the anime that it wasn't a psychic. Yeah. It was just like an accident, just like a random.
Did they? Now I'm trying to re-guess. I'm misguessing myself. Like, was it even show in the
manga?
Yeah,
I don't think it was ever addressed, so I think it was implied that it was Claw.
Yeah.
Whether it was Show's crew or whether it was just other Claw people.
Yeah.
Because, like, the other Claw people were going around burning down houses, too.
God, you make it sound like it's random. Well,
because they were going to target Mob, and maybe they were going to target Reigen because he had taken down the 7th Division.
Right, which makes sense. So...
I don't know.
Broccoli?
Broccoli? I love the broccoli reveal, both in the manga, but I think the anime really did a great job with sort of the, you can't really tell where they are when they're walking out of it. And then showing the leaves and the helicopters. Yeah. That was such a great touch.
That was that was a good touch. God, going back to Torchiro's fight, I think it's during 100%. I know.
I'm like, what?
Wig. Well, during 100% kindness, you can see the broccoli seeds going up because it's a green aura, which is very distinct from the really color palette they were already using. Yeah. So you can tell it's the broccoli coming out.
That was really cool.
Super cool.
Yeah, good.
So I really loved the interaction between Mob and Reigen in the next scene where and Mob's like, oh, yeah, I had those broccoli seeds in my uniform. Which, by the way, Mob, did you just forget those? Yeah. Do you only have one uniform?
Probably, maybe re-wears the same one a bunch.
He probably has like 2. Well, I'm trying to think when I was in
I don't know, man.
grade school and I had a uniform. They gave us like a couple.
Yeah. He probably just kept it in the pockets, ran it through the laundry a few times, still had them in there.
Or alternative, he was like, oh yeah, those seeds, I gotta put them in my uniform again or something. He's
like every day he would put them into his new uniform.
Yeah.
And every day he'd forget about them.
Yeah, which is not what I think. So
Mob is like that.
Mob is like that, and then Reigen connects it, and he's like, "Oh fuck!" That's
I know.
A broccoli.
It's like, let's pretend we never saw that.
Right, and so I'm trying to remember because when we were watching it, it was like an indirect way Reigen saved Mob because isn't it stated in the manga or at least implied that like the power that Mob would have grabbed from Tochiro so he didn't explode, it went to the broccoli.
That totally makes sense. I missed that, but
that's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it is.
Okay, that's what I thought it was.
I don't distinctly remember, but like that makes sense. That's
the implication I got when I read it. Mm-hmm. Either if it's outright stated,
because it would be like another kind of like living thing that sort of like took the explosion.
Took the explosion, and it was like because it's both It was like right where it was, and also it's like right
over his heart.
Reigen's heart, not Reigen, Mob's heart.
It is Reigen's heart.
God, Reigen and Mob switched hearts. What the fuck? It's not even funny.
He woke up from the surgery. Where's Shisho? Who do you think gave you the heart?
Not Shisho. He doesn't have one. Mob dies. The end. I just wrote a quick fanfic. Write it.
Okay.
So
Takanaka is here.
Zoom in on his face.
Takanaka?
He's here.
He's here. The boy. Pink hoodie.
I love him so fucking much.
I love Takanaka. Oh my god, season 3 when?
So I'm really, really excited to see. Because, so I know in the English dub, I think they just grab somebody. Because usually, in English dubs, they're like, oh, we need this really small line. We'll just grab somebody.
Right, and they might not, they probably don't even know.
Yeah, so are they going to be like, hey, remember when you did a very, one line?
Hey, Bill from accounting.
Yeah. Hey, Bill from accounting. You remember when you did one line?
You have, 10 minutes of dialogue in this episode.
You want to fucking come back here? And I think that's what they do for the English dub because that's usually what they do. I'm wondering what they did for the Japanese. His only line was
like, "I'm done. I
can't do this," and it's like very
so they're
generic.
like, "Oh, we don't need him anymore. He's not important."
Yeah,
This is so funny.
I wonder if one knew from the very beginning he was going to reuse Takanaka.
That's a great question. I feel like maybe not.
If I ever met one, that's what I want to ask him.
That is a good question.
I want to know how far ahead he planned this story.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there are some things that he could have easily backfilled, and I think that is one of them. Yeah. That he could have really easily been like, oh, that one-off character that quit, that he could come back and he could be like an actual telepath.
And I'm gonna build him as a character very well in one chapter.
You could definitely do that like after the fact.
Yeah, but I'm sure I feel like he had like the story like structured out. Like, okay, this is what's gonna happen.
I think he had an end goal. I think he had sort of the themes he definitely had in mind. Sure. But getting from like point A to B. Point B. I think that was kind of on the fly.
And I think that's usually how, especially with like Serial.
Oh yeah, where he's publishing.
Yeah, and I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think the Mob Psycho 100 manga had a set schedule. I think he just kind of updated it whenever, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know much about that.
I don't either, because I read it after it was done already.
Yeah. So I'm glad I did, otherwise I would have died.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have taken that.
Right. I think it at
could
least
barely handle it.
Yeah, because some of those updates would be long, really short, and then some were really, really long, which is like, Anyway, so
Takinaka?
So then
the little scene between Toichiro and Joseph and Serizawa in show, I really like this scene a lot, and I love Serizawa's brown jacket and belt.
Brown jacket boy.
It's good. It's a good outfit. Serizawa owns 2 suits.
Use your... Yeah, Serizawa has two suits.
2 suits?
2 suits. Yeah, he looked dashing in that.
He did. He looked really good.
And also, Jenny, you're not subtle. I've seen you been wearing belts more often because since this episode premiered, you're not being subtle.
I've worn belts like 3 times this week, distinctly because
Jenny
of Serizawa.
Finally feels like seen and like represented, because ever since I've known her, all she wears is earth tones. She has never worn colors in her life.
Yeah, I'm like, brown?
Brown? That's like your entire... The most color in your wardrobe is like a Breaking Bad shirt you have. And that's gray with colors in the middle. That's the most colors you wear.
Okay, I get it. Jesus Christ.
Anyway.
I don't like colors.
I don't like colors. Look at me, I'm Jenny.
Oh my god. Okay.
No,
fine.
but I really liked the touch of Toichiro like remembering back to mobbing, like you need other people, and people like reaching his hand over.
Yeah. That was good.
That was a very good touch. I really liked that. Also, really what the fuck is Sho wearing in this scene?
Sho looks great. Leave him alone.
I love him so much. Who dressed that? Whose shirt is that? Is that your own?
I really do like this scene though, how like Suzuki kind of gives closure to Serizawa in a way that's like mean but like effective. Like I think he had to be mean to be like, I never cared about you, just to kind of like set him free in that way. Of be like, you don't owe anything, like you don't have to feel bad about what happened to me, because
I agree,
like you shouldn't, basically.
No, yeah, I agree.
So that kind of gives Serizawa like the opportunity to like move on, which is nice. And then the end scene, oh my god, when we kind of talked about the broccoli thing already, where they're like, look out the window and see the broccoli. Yeah. Then Serizawa's appearance, this was of course what we were hoping we would see in this scene. And it was perfect. Oh my god. Bones, if you're listening, I love you.
Thanks. Thank you for
You've never done anything wrong.
Well, so what I was really, really, really excited was how they would animate Serizawa's body language. And like so we've seen that a little bit, but not too much, because I feel like it's fair to say like the Serizawa we see like pre mob isn't the true Serizawa. But like him with his hands like outreaching, you can tell they're trying to kind of grab like maybe unconsciously for an umbrella like he usually gets when he's anxious, but they finally like just like settle on each other. And just like his animation for when Reigen's like, he looks like he's ready for customers, he's like, customers, which is also me when I have customers. And just it's very fluid and it's so well done, and I was so excited to see how they would do this. Like, it's anxious, which is how Serizawa is at first, but you can still tell he's very
And
he's sturdy. Yeah. He's sturdy. He's like ready to learn and ready to grow.
Yeah, and seeing his growth is going to be really fun too, because he does become like, he really mellows out a lot.
Yeah,
like right now he's so kind of anxious and high strung because like he's going into the world like with no sort of sense of what he's doing, and like that shit is hard.
That is. Yeah, like that's how you feel after college graduation. I feel you, Sarah.
This guy's like 30 and he's like, oh shit.
Yeah, honestly, me too. I'm 22 and I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. Maybe we were all Sarazawa.
We are all Sarazawa. Also, striped tie. Can we talk? I'm so glad he got a pattern tie.
Well,
I'm team pattern tie Sarazawa.
It's the same colors as his robe.
His robe. Yeah, it's good. And yellow, which I think was his like manga color tie.
I think it was. Yeah.
So sort of the yellow, like yellow, red, orange sort of colors.
Looks good on my boy.
Dark blue suit.
Yes. Good. I think it contrasts well with Reigen's.
Yes.
Also, can I say a very small detail? I feel like the suit, like, you can tell on Reigen's suit, like, is kind of too big for him, but on Sarazawa's suit, like, is, like, fitted for him.
Yeah.
Fucking. Well, and I mean, Tochiro's is the same way. His suit is, like, a eensy bit too big on him because his shoulders aren't broad enough, and Reigen's is the same.
Yeah.
Fucking hate both of them. Love them both.
Reigen's doing his best.
He really is. So anyway, Dimple wearing his hair.
Yeah, when they cut off Sarazawa's hair and Dimple's like playing with his little puffs of hair. That was so cute.
That was cute. I fucking love Sarazawa because he's really like, Reigen's like, listen to your senior, who is this middle schooler? And Sarazawa's like, I am honored. I'm gonna listen.
I know. He's like, I will learn from him.
And I was like, okay.
And the song. So there was like a third secret end credits song this whole time. Bones, you
dogs.
You dogs.
You dogs, you.
You had a secret song.
Way to throw us a bone there. Podcast done.
We're done.
Okay. So
I like the song.
I do too.
It's very happy. It made me very happy.
Right.
This whole ending, I know. I'm found dead in Miami, heart full of love.
A little wee bit disappointed it's not Gray, but
okay.
But I do like the song.
Yeah.
I like both.
I
could have taken
both. Both are good.
Both are good. Yes, both are good.
Both are good.
But yeah, it was a good ending. I'm really, really happy that they did include Sarazawa's makeover, him joining Spirits and such. I knew they would. I kind of figured they would, but I didn't want to wait 3 years to get Sarazawa's makeover.
I know. And it really is such a perfect sort of like light note to end on, with like sort of hope for the future and a change. Like things are the same, things are different, we're moving forward.
And this is how it sets up for the next season, which is definitely going to be
Sarazawa working there is
season.
Such an important thing because
it
gives Mob like sort of like Mob can leave without abandoning Reigen.
Yeah. Sarazawa is very much like Mob's replacement in a sense. And there's even a scene during is it during the yokai dude where Mob is like, Master, I'm so sorry, like I decided like I don't know how much, like not how much
where he's
longer.
like, I don't want my future to be experienced and such.
And Reigen is like, that's fine, Mob.
Like, I don't expect that.
Yeah, I don't expect that from you. Like you can tell Reigen's like disappointed, obviously, because he just wants to be around Mob.
Yeah, but like also, he would love it if Mob stayed, but he can't.
But also he doesn't want to hold Mob back.
Yeah, definitely.
Is that during the yokai thing?
It is. It's like, it's sort of, because that's like the future prospects kind of thing that would probably be, like they do the yokai and going into like the culture festival thing.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Do we dare talk about season 3?
Oh my god. So season 3 is definitely going to be the last one.
Oh yeah. And I think a lot of people are talking about how many episodes they think it will be. I don't think it will be a full 12 episodes.
I was honestly kind of thinking about it. I think they could stretch it to 12, honestly.
They could, but...
Should they?
I don't think they should, because I think, this is my hot take, I think with the pace that they've been going the past 2 seasons, I think stretching out a 3rd season to make it 12 episodes would just leave it feeling kind of lackluster. Like, I think why stretch it out and make it like noticeably slower when you could kind of keep, you know, clipping along at this pace that's been working really well for the past 2 seasons.
Well, okay.
I just think that would be not the best choice.
That's fair. But like, we got yokai, we got broccoli arc, we got maybe alien.
But let's talk about, okay, so like the New Beginnings in Yokai, 1 episode.
1 episode.
Solidly 1 episode. Broccoli arc, 2 episodes. Probably.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's not long. It's honestly, it's not long.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, it's a couple chapters and animated. It's not going to be long. Hello, Kismet. That's the cat. And Aliens. One
if
episode.
They'll
do it. I think they will do Aliens, but like 1 episode. Like, let's be honest, guys.
Like that'll become an OVA, but I hope they include it.
It kind of makes sense in the context of the season because it sort of almost ties into some other things, like a little bit with like Tsubomi, because like Takenaka's like, oh, I'm gonna ask Tsubomi out. So like there's like a couple threads that kind of continue.
Yeah, but that's like such a thread that you can easily dismiss.
Oh yeah, I mean they could do it as an OVA, but I think that the director said that they really want to do it.
Oh shit, you're right actually.
So I think that they will do it as part of the normal season, and also I just think like
the Aliens
they can.
Yeah.
And if they can, they probably will.
Yeah,
like, I don't think they're going to be...
Well, and then how
that as a limit.
Do you think the last chapter would be?
Well, that's the question. So it's kind of like chapters 99 through 101, right? So the kind of like setup with Tsubomi is moving and Mob plans to confess to her, which will probably be like half of 1 episode.
Probably end that episode with Mob getting hit.
I think going probably maybe a little bit into the actual chapter 100. And then
end with like triple question
maybe
mark
end.
awakening.
Well, maybe end with like after the Teru thing. Like I think it could go a little bit into it, you know, because like that's not going to take long. Yeah. I think three episodes.
3.
I think 3 episodes. I mean, I think that. When people, I think when people plot out their predictions for season 3, they're totally forgetting how fast seasons 1 and 2 were. Yeah. Like looking at how much they covered in seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah,
I'm like, they can do it in 6 to 8 episodes.
Well, like when I watched all of season 1, and then I was like, oh, I want to read the manga, and I looked, and I was like, look at all these arcs it covers. Like some of the arcs that like it covers is like 1 episode. Yeah. Like I think the first episode is an arc of itself.
I mean, you think about Mogami arc being 2 episodes, Separation arc being 2 episodes, like. You know, Broccoli arc's gonna be 2 episodes.
Shit, how
Alien arc's gonna be 1 episode.
How long was World Dom?
World Dom, okay, so it was the marathon was sort of episode
8, right?
8, so then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that was 5 episodes.
Well, the marathon is part of World Dom. Sort
of. I mean, they mostly did the marathon with a little bit of the house being burned down, but it was almost entirely marathon.
But isn't the marathon part, what I'm saying is the marathon isn't its separate arc.
It's like a mini arc.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, like World Domination arc, to be fair, is a lot longer than any other arc in the manga.
Yeah.
Like chapter 100, it's long.
But it's not short updates. It's updates
that long. Like it's like 250 pages, but a lot of it is not dialogue. A lot of it's action.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, I just think it's gonna go quick.
As we've seen, Bones is fine with like the thing I've noticed is Bones, like a lot of these scenes where I'm like, okay, Bones is just gonna kind of rush through this. They don't. They animate it very long. Like the Tochiro fight, like was like the first half of this episode alone. And like even Mogami's fight was like the second half of that episode. So like if it's like worth animating.
Yeah.
They'll spend a lot of time.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, I think that they will spend some time on it, but I just think that I just still can't see the 3rd season being 12 episodes. Like, I think it's going to be 8 at the most.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Because I feel like stretching it out wouldn't help.
No, I agree. I don't think they would stretch it out, and I don't see how they would stretch it out because, like, the adaptation has been pretty faithful.
Oh, yeah.
And it's unlike, you know, like, I keep going back to Fullmetal Alchemist, but it's like it's made by the same studio. Like, before, when they were making the first series, the manga wasn't done, right? So they were like filling in fillers for a lot of fillers as they reached to new chapters as they came out. And I think My Hero Academia does the same thing, but I'm not sure because I've never watched it. And that's even a more recent one. But since the manga's over, that's why a lot of people thought they would just like extend this season and make it like kind of like 2 in 1. Because the manga's already done, they have the material. Just go through it. They just have to go through it. Yeah. But I think doing this...
I'm glad they're waiting.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of fans who just watch the anime. So like there's like a lot of anticipation for it. And they know they're still going to have fans both on that side and the manga readers who are like, we know how the story ends, but like we're really excited to see how well it's adapted.
Yeah, we're literally dying to see it.
Yeah, because we like the adaptation because it's fun to see animated.
Because it's a great adaptation,
And then we'll get like a new OP and...
Oh, yeah, like, EDs? New OP, new, like, yeah. Fuck me up, Bones.
Right, I'm really excited to see
lay it on me, like I'm ready.
And there's an OVA coming in July.
Oh, yeah, I mean, there's lots of things to look forward to in the meantime, so, like, the second volume of the manga in English was just released this week.
They still got some weird stuff.
I haven't read through all of it yet.
I haven't gotten mine yet because what the fuck, I pre-order it and you think I would get it the
go
day
to Barnes
and
Noble the day it's released.
I don't fucking drive. Where is a Barnes and Noble near me? I live in suburbia.
I don't know. There's one in...
Don't... Oh, you gotta bleep that.
There's a lot of bills in the world.
You gotta bleep that. Just add a censor.
There's a lot of redacted.
Redacted. You're just gonna name drop where we live. So Jenny lives at 920.
It's not my address.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
I'm close. I know your address. You don't.
I know your address. Okay. Anyway.
No, but yeah.
Yeah, so, like, the English volume's being released. The English dub is still gonna come out? I keep forgetting.
Winter. Yeah.
Wait, what?
It comes out in winter.
Next winter?
This winter.
This winter? What does that mean?
Like, in December.
Winter's over.
Like, in December, guys.
Oh, it comes out in December?
Yes. I told you this before, and you were like, you thought it was, like, January. You're like, when's it coming out? I'm like, no, in this winter. And you're like, this winter?
Wait, what?
We had this conversation before. I feel like I'm in limbo.
Are you serious? Yes. Oh, wait, the English dub for season 2 comes out in December.
Yes.
How do you know that? Chris Yossi told you?
Funimation announced it. I told you this.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I texted you and I was like, oh, Funimation has a license for season 2. And you're like, cool, when does it come out? And I said winter. And you're like, this winter? Like this January? And I'm like, no, December. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. That was the conversation. Okay. This happened 2 months ago.
You never? Really? Okay, no, I feel like they didn't do a release date.
I'm fucking searching.
Okay, Google it.
I'm searching for this in our text.
No, don't do that. I think that, no, I remember that now. But I feel like when I read the article, they never said a specific release date.
They said in the winter.
I don't think they gave a release date for when they're releasing the dub.
Cut this out, and we're gonna cut to when I find it.
Okay, we'll cut it out.
Mob Psycho 100 Season 2 will be simul-dub only for us. We have not announced the premiere date for it yet. We update our winter 2019 lineup blog with details as we know. Oh.
That literally just said we won't. Rissa, you just read what I said. Okay, anyway, we don't know when the dub was coming out.
I thought they meant this winter.
So anyway, the dub will be coming out at some point, probably during this year. An OVA in July, an original OVA written by one. So that's fun. That'll be fun to see.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see
new content.
Yeah.
From one, the man himself. He saw the last OVA and he was like, nope.
Right.
I'm going to write the next one myself.
I know a lot of people had... Okay, I'm going to talk to you about this Funimation dub because there's, like, weird information going on with it. And I misread it when I first...
That's fine. I didn't.
Well, look at you, Miss Reading Comprehension over here. Miss, I didn't realize Dimple died at the end of Broccoli arc. Yeah. Yeah.
I have heartburn. Ow, I I laughed so hard it hurt. Oh my god, okay. It's fine. I can't read.
Well, maybe we'll do a review of the OVA when it comes out.
When
if
the
people
OVA
care.
comes out.
Maybe they'll put it in theaters. No, they won't do that.
Put the OVA in theaters. It's like 20 minutes long or something.
You fucking...
Let me go watch it.
Show the entire second season in theaters.
In theaters.
You fucking cowards.
Back to back. I want to sit in a theater for 6 hours and watch.
I feel like they've done that before for anime.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Third volume in English comes out in July.
If they don't push it back.
If they don't push it back again.
Yeah, those are slowly but surely coming out. I hope Dark Horse doesn't drop them.
Yeah.
Because I know they have a tendency to do that with manga.
Yeah. Buy them if you're able to. They're cheap.
Yeah, and
$9.
Yeah, which is the basic price for manga. A volume. But yeah, that's the last review for a while.
That's it.
I don't know if we're gonna do anything else together ever again.
Our friendship is over. I'm never talking to Rissa ever again.
Sometimes I think Jenny's not so right.
We're gonna have our own separation arc now. I'm gonna go.
You're gonna go
get
kick a lemon drop
in
on
a bar by myself, and then throw up in an alley.
Cool. There's a bar right down the street.
Rissa's gonna live her best life independently.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get publicly humiliated on television.
And I save your ass.
And Rissa's gonna save my ass.
I feel like that usually happens.
That's our typical pattern.
And then we're gonna go get ramen.
This is what we do every week. Just rinse and repeat.
Sunday we break up. Monday we go get ramen. This happens in a day.
We just every other day is separation arc.
Oh God! All right.
Thank you everyone so much for listening to these.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by that.
This was sort of just a wild idea that I had at the beginning of the season. I was like, what if we did reviews of every episode? That'd be kind of fun.
Well, yeah.
And then this whole time I'm like, Rissa, people are listening to these, and she's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, people are listening. And then last week she realized that people were listening, and she was like, oh shit.
I'm like, are you sure it's just not you playing over and over and over, and you're not making these comments?
People are listening, Rissa.
Yeah. If people think we're funny and you guys have different suggestions on stuff we could do.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Let's do a Let's Play channel.
Let's do where I just suck at everything and you yell at me.
Well, I'm talking about video games, not actual life.
Yeah, I'm talking about video games.
Oh, I thought you were saying I just yell at you.
I can't play video games.
Right, I would be playing the video games.
Oh, I'd just be watching?
Yeah, and you make funny
and making comments.
Yeah, have you never seen a Let's Play before?
No.
Wow. Right.
Kind of, but I'm not a gamer.
This podcast is going off the rails.
It is. It's fine.
It's okay. It's the last one.
It's the last one, so it has to go off the rails a little bit. Okay. We'll see ya.
I just spilled.
Rissa just spilled wine all down her shirt.
I'm wearing a white shirt.
On her Mob Psycho shirt.
My Mob Psycho shirt. Alright, well.
It's been
a ride.
It's been a wild ride.
Till next time.
It's been an honor.
Just remember, you're the protagonist.
You're the protagonist of your own life.